Hi, I'm Monica Packer from About Progress, and this is a growth spurt, a bite-sized way you can increase your progress today. I recently hired a co-editor, someone who will hybrid edit the podcast alongside me. It's been kind of hard for me to release even a little bit of control in this area because the quality of the podcast has long been an obsessive work in progress. I definitely won't say that I am anywhere close to the best of the biz, but I will say that I do take great pride in doing my best to make my indie podcast as close to radio quality as possible in terms of having good audio and smooth editing and just overall professionalism. I have long modeled my work off of the best podcasts in the world, always and ever a student of what they do and why. For example, have you ever wondered why I do little music breaks in my longer episodes? Well, that's because of the podcast This American Life and other shows like that do a little music swell to complement the content and to provide your ears a little break with this gentle nudge to return your focus back to the show. A few years ago, I got a new software that drastically improved my editing, including how long it took me to edit. And I was really excited at first to notice that one of the features was to remove all filler words with a single click. Words like and like and and you know. So for a while, I did that. And I was thinking, yay, an automatic improvement that makes the show sound even better and more professional. Except a couple months into doing that, I had to gradually accept that it didn't make the show better. Instead, my guests sounded more robotic, almost too well spoken, or even chopped up. Ever the student to craft, I paid more attention to my long favored, professionally produced podcasts like The Daily and Fresh Air. And I tried to notice if they included filler words and imperfections from the host to the guests. And what I noticed is that they largely did not and still do not heavily edit their hosts and their guests. And doing so makes them sound not only still knowledgeable and entertaining, but they also sound more human and interesting. So I stopped doing that one-click removal of all the filler words. And while I still do remove some that kind of interrupt the flow of the interview, I tend to keep most of the humanness in the episodes. It's really quite simple. The imperfections make it better. I was thinking about how this is true for all of us, that our imperfections make us better. I'm not just talking about how having weaknesses can inspire us to gently improve gradually over our lives, although that can be true. I'm talking more about how we as people are better thanks to our imperfections. Would you really want to be married to a robot? I try to remind myself how our perfections make us better when someone unexpectedly dropped by my home. As I open my front door and my whole front messy area is bared open to the person on the stoop, I think maybe them seeing my mess will help them feel better about theirs. When I'm at church and I notice that the band of my skirt cuts across my midsection in an unflattering way, I try to remind myself, maybe them seeing my soft tummy will help them feel more normal about theirs. When my toddler throws a massive fit in a very nice boutique because he wants to hold the whole cookie and not just nibble off a little piece, which totally happened today, I comfort myself. Maybe them seeing my tantruming toddler will help them feel more at ease with theirs. Our imperfections humanize us. They make us soft and more open to both be loved and to love in return. They provide openings for us to connect with each other. They push us to be more seen And they remind us to be gentle with ourselves and with others, because none of us are perfect. How can your imperfections make things better in yourself, in your relationships, in your work, in your dreams? How are your imperfections necessary to the path you are forging and the life you are creating? How can you make space for these imperfections instead of shamefully seeking to hide them all away? Here's a little challenge for you today. Allow space for imperfection, because the imperfections make things better. Before I go, I want to do a progressor spotlight. I recently shared on Instagram the habits that have helped me show up lately. And I really loved what Rebecca Stain said here, and that was a public comment. She wrote, quote, "Just created a messy middle chore plan with my 2 kids. No color coding or cute graphics. Fingers crossed that we can do it," unquote. I love that so much. Not only is she going for done better than perfect, but she's modeling to her kids and to herself that imperfect is more than good enough. So well done, Rebecca. A quick reminder that this podcast is listener supported. Listeners get access to 3 levels of exclusive benefits, from more content to more time with me, and I would love to invite you to become one of them. You can check it out at aboutprogress.com/support. You can always support the show for free. Make sure you keep listening, share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a review. All of those free steps are vital to the continuation of this work. Thank you so much for listening. Now go and do something with what you learned today.